Hey guys, welcome back. It's mid-May. We just had Mother's Day weekend yesterday, Sunday, and whoa, I'm about to fall. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I have about 3 to 4 hours that I'm gonna try to come out here and shoot a little video, mainly just a how-to video, guys, to teach you some different techniques that are really untraditional for the Great Lakes, because 99.9% of all your charter captains do what I would say is the most efficient and effective way of catching salmon, and that is trolling. However, now with the forward-facing sonar, I've been jigging up salmon for 15-20 years. You know, I've been doing it a long time, but now with forward-facing sonar, you can actually go out, search the top 40 feet of the water column out in 100-200 feet of water in shallow. We're going to start right here by the gaps. There's no one here. It's a calm day. We got the warm river dirty water coming out, meeting the lake water. So there's browns and cohos and everything here. You know, and it's a timing thing. They're here in May, they're here in June, July. When the water's cold and the temp's right, the fish are biting. So I'm gonna give it a try. I just wanna go over what's great and so fun about this is we're doing it all with spinning tackle. You can use a bait caster for jigging spoons and stuff, but like all the same bass and walleye rod gear that I'm using, just using a Trika spinning rod. They're manufactured here in Wisconsin. Super light, super sensitive, probably the best spinning rods I've ever had a chance to use, and they're priced well. They got like a 365-year warranty, which was really appealing to me. If you don't like it, you get a year. You can send it back and get a different rod, which is cool on the Trika rods. Pair that up with the Piscifun new Alumex spinning reel. These are new, guys. Super smooth drag, 10-ball bearings. They work awesome in freshwater and salt water. I use them all the time. You can use my code EH15 to save 15% on some of these new Alumex reels. Also, you can use that code EH15 on my favorite reels here, the Carbon X2 reels. I've got that on a Trika rod, and I'll have basically 2 rods when I come out here the majority of the time fishing. There'll be times I'll use some live bait. I'm gonna do some videos showing you how to catch alewives and use them under a float, use them on a 3-way out here in the middle of the summer. But 2 baits I use, the jigging spoon, something like a hot spoon here, a 1/2 ounce hot spoon. I've got that on 12-pound test fluorocarbon leader, 10-pound test braid. And the other go-to bait for me is a jig in a plastic. So I like a swim bait jig style head, a 4-inch sort of straight tail plastic. Same thing, I've got that on 12-pound fluorocarbon, 10-pound braid Carbon X. And all I'm doing is I'm going around and I'm searching for fish. And when I see them, I take the jig in the plastic, fire it to them. Usually if the fish are high this time of the year in May and June, let it, oh, I just missed a fish right there. Are you kidding me? I just missed one as it was sinking. Let me see if I can see him. That was cool. So yeah, just cast it out. Just little pops like this. Got a plane coming. We're gonna see if we can catch some fish. Let's go! All right, guys, a lot of you guys are asking me, hey, you'd like to see what the screen looks like more often. And I don't always have a GoPro, really a spot for it up front. So I just want to show you like what I'm looking for here when I'm out here. Now I'm in 38 feet of water. I'm really not focused on the bottom since most of the bait is suspended. And when I pan, I use my foot to pan left and right. That's what I'm pointing with, because I always want to have my hands free. You don't want to have a pole if you're doing this, because you want to shoot with your feet, point the left and right, and then you cast where you see the fish. If you have to take your hand off your rod and reel and move the pole, these fish move so much. So it's imperative that you have it set up on the trolling motor. All the professionals that fish bass, none of them use poles. They all have it on their trolling motor. So that's step number 1. And then you're locating bait fish. Anywhere you can find bait fish like this. And now I'm just looking for fish in the bait. Panning left, panning right, you know, and again, you can see the bottom. I'm not concerned with the bottom. I'm mainly concerned with the middle and the top half of the water column. And that's where I'm looking for fish. And when I see fish out here, and I'll try to spot one here for a second. Where is this fish? Look at this fish up high, guys. See that? Do you see how that fish just swam down? Where'd it go? There it is, right there. See it? See it? That fish right there is only 10 feet down. I'm trying to stay on him, but that's a big fish up high right there. That's what the big fish look like right behind the boat. See how my trolling motor is facing the back of the boat? And then there's the school of bait. So I just wanted to show you what they look like. There's a significant difference. You see all the bait, there's a fish right there. You see that? Now I'm gonna cast at him. See how he's just a bigger fish in there? Let's see if we can catch him. Hold on, stand by. There he is. Got him. Fish on. What do we got? This is a good fish too. It's got to be a brown. All right. Starting our day off midday here. I'm guessing this is a brown trout. Up high. We'll see in a second here. It doesn't even seem like he's hooked. A lot of fish in the stained water right by the river mouth. Thought I'd stop here before I go anywhere else just to check. And I'm seeing them. You never know what you're going to catch here in May. Brown trout, king salmon. Fighting like a brown, staying down. Was up high. Weird, he's just kind of staying down now. What do we got here? What do we got, guys? Leave me a comment. What's your guess? Brown trout? Salmon? Oh, nice head shakes. I'm guessing brown trout. But I'd like to get some dinner. I'd like to catch a coho or a king. Catch my share of browns. They're fun. Oh, it's a big, nice big brown, guys. I'm pretty sure it's a nice big brown. Yep. Beautiful fish. It's May. We're jigging up brown trout here, right out of Milwaukee. Look at that beautiful, nice big brown trout. We got the new clam catch and release net here, the Lake Michigan net for trolling. Oh, I see he just spit up an alewife or a goby. See the bait that's floating right there? But this new clam net, oh, he spit up a couple alewives. I'll leave you a discount code, guys. You get 15% off this net. It's kind of a new thing just on these Lake Michigan nets. Yeah, I wanted to come out here and just catch one or two fish. It's mid-morning. Just came back from Sturgeon Bay. Mother's Day weekend. Popped out here Monday morning. I'm heading back later this evening to go back to Sturgeon Bay. Fish smallies, but I thought, you know what? Good reports of cohos are coming in. Let's see if we can get a couple cohos or a king jigging. But of course, I got a nice big brown on my new Trika rod. The good old Carbon X, my favorite reel, doing some damage. 10-pound test. So I'm just taking my time. Just taking my time here. It's a big brown. Gonna get him in the net. And we are gonna try to catch fish number one. Come on. Big brown. Nice big brown. Nice big brownie. Come on. Come on. Jeez. Look at this guy. Yes, sir. Oh, oh, whoa. Come here. Almost got him. Almost got him. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Jeez. It's like they just woke up or something. We're going to be doing jigging trips all summer long. If you guys want to do this, get a hold of me. You don't have to troll for trout and salmon. We offer these jigging trips in the summer as soon as I come back from Green Bay. And this is what you can catch. Just catching one or two of these big fish jigging is like, that makes my whole day right there. Just wanted to come out here, catch one or two fish, jigging them up. Got this big Lake Michigan net. I use this in the fall. Use the discount code, save 15% on this net, guys. It's awesome. Look at that, big, beautiful. I'm not gonna get a picture of them. I'm gonna unhook this big sea forel and brown, then I'm just gonna let them go. All right, guys, so you can use my code HOTNET10 to save 10% on any of these big clam catch and release nets. They are awesome. So I'm not even going to take this big brown trout out of the water. So I've taken the hook out. I'm letting them recover. And the problem is with browns, when you jig them up, a lot of these fish, sometimes they don't even make it in the summer. So I'm just going to carefully take them like this. We'll lift him up and we'll let him swim away. And that's what's great about these nets. Not only for trolling, as you can see, they got the extension right here. You can bust this out. And now for trolling, you see how far back this net extends. So these Lake Michigan nets are kind of new. Save yourself 10%. Use my code HOT10 and they work great. All right, we're gonna get back to fishing. 40 feet over. Bad cast, I think. No, maybe not, maybe not, no. It's right here. Here he comes. Got him. Another big one, guys. Another big one. That's a fish I just saw. Are you kidding me? Yes. Is it a brown or a coho? Gotta be another big brown. Oh my God. Another giant brown. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is that a giant brown or a giant steelhead? Holy crap. That was cool. You can see him right here on live scope still. Wow. You want to talk about world-class brown trout fishing? Never get a chance to usually come here in May. Came back home Mother's Day weekend, heading back up to Door County, and look at this. What a pleasant surprise. Giant browns jigging. Look at this thing. That is a toad, another toad. Wow. Whoo, wow. Let me get that catch and release net. Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy, easy. Big head shakes. Oh my God. And I'm not keeping any of these browns. Personally, I think the browns that live, we got a wastewater treatment plant, a poop plant. They discharge poop, and these fish live here all summer, and I don't like eating these fish. They're fishy, and I just personally don't like eating brown trout. I like the steelhead, the cohos, and the kings. But to each their own. If you guys want to come here and eat these, have at it. That's why they stocked. They do not naturally reproduce. And look at this. You can catch world-class brown trout. Look at this giant fish, you guys. My goodness. That is a giant. That is just a giant. Look at that thing. That's pushing 20 pounds, guys. Unbelievable. I'm going to keep this fish in the net. That is just unbelievable what just happened. Are you kidding me right now? Holy crap. If you don't love that and that don't get you going, come out here learning different stuff. I don't normally jig fish here, but you can come out here May, June, July and jig them up. You want to book a trip, try to leave my number here, get a hold of me, and you can catch these giants. It's unbelievable, and it is a blast on a spinning rod. All right, guys, so I just want to give you one tip. If you do come out here and you want to jig up some of these big brown trout near shore, shallow water in the summertime, is that they do not do well once you flop them in the boat. So if you're going to flop them in the boat and you want to get pictures with them, you might as well just keep them, because what I've learned over the years is, especially in like July and August, those 2 months, is like when I've caught these fish jigging and I've even kept them in the net like this, and I take the fish out of the net to hold it real quickly by the tail, support the belly, and then I go to let them go. A lot of them would just float just from the mere exhaustion of the battle. So if you really have no intentions, you know, this is a big beautiful fish, and so is the last one. I'd love to get a picture of them, but I'm more concerned really about just making sure that this fish swims away just fine. You know, like look at that battle, and look, that fish is still went through. I never lifted it out of the net once. you know, and it just barely swam away. So that's just my point. Once you bring them out of the net and they can't breathe anymore, it's just a lot harder on the fish. So, you know, I understand a lot of guys want to get pictures, and I get it, but just so you know, when you do catch these big ones jigging, it just seems like a lot of these brown trout die, especially if you overhandle them in the summer, a lot like your muskies or anything. You get them out of the water, you hold them up, and some of them just die. But that's just a little tip. We're going to go back to jigging. We only got a couple hours before the wind shifts. All right, guys, it's 11:20 a.m. I've been out here about an hour and a half. Hooked 2 giant browns, caught a couple giant browns, missed a coho or 2. And the water's kind of dirty here, and usually typically is any of your river mouths, whether you're in Racine, Kenosha, Sheboygan, Port. All these harbors are good at certain times if you can time it right. In May, June, July, August, September, they're great. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull the plug. Even though I'm seeing lots of fish like this, I'm seeing them, I think they're browns, and I'm having a lot of those fish follow. The water's a little stained here. I feel like it's a little bit harder for them to see. Maybe they're just not chewing really good in here, but I always start here, see if there's fish here. Now I'm going to spend about 1 hour just going out anywhere from 50 to maybe 80 feet of water, 40 to 60, I don't know, and I'm going to go look for some cohos offshore here. All right, guys, so I just got out here to 76 feet of water. So I just want to go over really how I go about chasing. All summer long, you can come out here and you can jig up trout and salmon, even offshore, which is really cool, especially with forward-facing sonar. So here's what I do. I put the trolling motor down, and as you can see, my screen is black. You cannot see the bottom. I could go like this if I wanted to fish the bottom, right? But the minute I'm shooting down 100 feet, anything up here is very tiny and hard to see. And most of your cohos that I'm coming out here to catch right now, probably going to be in the top 50. So I'm just going to shoot in the top 40 feet and about 100 feet. So that makes it much easier when I'm scanning back left and right, because most of these fish, and I just cruise, you know, I've got it on like 10 and I'm cruising, scanning left and right. And what I'll do is I will go through a section here for about 15 minutes. And what I mean by a section, I'll start in 70 feet of water, 80 feet of water, and I'll maybe go, you know, a quarter mile on the trolling motor. If I'm not seeing a lot of fish suspended or seeing fish in general, I will pull up the trolling motor and I will run out to 90, 100, 120 feet. If I don't see them out, you know, deep, offshore, up high, right now out there, I'll run into the 40, 50 feet. So you got those 3 areas, that 30, 40, 50, that 70 to 90, and then like that 90 to 150. So not sure where they're at. I have very limited time, but that's how I go about chasing down these fish. I don't wait and spend a ton of time in 80, 90 feet of water, especially if I'm not marking an occasional fish. If I'm marking occasional fish, I know they're in that area. All right, guys, so here's a little update. I ran out into 80 feet of water, scoped around out there for about 25 minutes, never saw a fish. Went probably half a mile or so, then came into this 38 to 50 foot, saw a couple fish, a lot of bait in shallow, and use that as a rule of thumb. Typically 35 to 55 feet. From the rest of the year, you're going to have a good flow amount of bait, and I've just seen nothing but non-stop schools of bait, but not a lot of fish. So I have very limited time. The wind is just starting to switch out of the north. It's going to blow hard this afternoon, so I only have a little bit of time today for today's video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the harbor, because that's where I marked the most fish, saw the most fish, had the most action. So I'm going to go back there, finish up the video there, because that's where I'm seeing the fish. So the electronics are telling you to stay there where you're seeing the most fish. There's all the bait I'm seeing here. See all that bait, guys? But I'm just not seeing a lot of fish. So if I saw a lot of fish in the mark, in the bait, or around it, I'd stay here. But I've just seen tons of bait, not a lot of fish, so time to move. Woo! Well, all of a sudden she got really windy, guys. It's 1 o'clock. I've been out here for about 2.5 hours. The wind picked up, big cold front coming through. Within an hour, this lake's going to be rough as can be. The north wind coming, time to get off. But the key for this week's video is timing. May, June, July, if you want to come out here and jig up salmon, try the jig in the plastic, try the jigging spoon. I'm going to do some videos, even show you how to sabiki up some live bait to put the meat down, beat down, smack down, crack down on them. I'm heading back to Sturgeon Bay to fish at Sturgeon Bay Open, do some guide trips up there. Then I'll be back here jigging brown trout and salmon. Shoot me a text if you want to get out on a guide trip. I'll leave my cell phone number down, but the wind's coming, time for me to roll. Hit that subscribe button if you like our different videos. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see ya.